G'day everyone, it's Matty from Carpentry Australia. I'm here with the handsome duo. We've got the Limitless build boys down the road. Do you want to introduce yourself, fellas?
Yeah, I'm Matt, and this is Cam. We've been business partners for 10 plus,
like
probably
14, 15 years.
All of them, all the years.
2012? Or even earlier.
Earlier than that, yeah. We finished in 07, 08, only about 2009.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming up on 16 years or something.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Jeez.
That's really good. Brothers-in-laws as well, which is definitely helps.
Married your sister,
Yeah.
10 plus years of marriage and that.
Yeah.
That's going well.
That's it, and a little mountain of kids as well.
Yeah.
That's one thing I've liked about you boys. Like how, but I'll start off. We will get into the other stuff, but how do you juggle having big families and working so hard? And you guys are very successful with sort of what you do, and you put out a high quality product. But how do you juggle big families and working so hard? And you guys are very successful with sort of what you do, and you put out a high quality product. But how do you juggle the other side of it?
It all comes down to just scheduling. I want to be dependable. So with the work life, everyone knows roughly where I'm going to be because we use a calendar that we can all see. Mm-hmm. So everyone sort of knows where I'm going to be when I'm doing another sale, or I'm going to go meet a client or do a job inspection prior to start. And they can depend on that by going, okay, cool, he's going to be around this area that time. I'm going to ask him for this around then. I usually try and make sure I'm home the same time every day, family-wise. And that way, at least
gives
your partner
consistency,
some sort of stability where your partner goes, okay, cool, he's going to be around here this time. They might be having a shit day that day. And they go, it's only 2 hours. 2 hours left. He's going to come home, and then we can pass it up. Yeah. Well, I don't think I save the day. I just take off a tiny bit of mental load by being the class clean and start cleaning up. That's enough. That's enough sometimes.
It's really to switch off. So my wife works 3 nights a week, so I go from work and I'm on with my 3 kids with his bedtime, bath time, all that regime. Good to learn how to get home, switch off, but you still need to do, allow yourself like text here, a quick call there, a small text, like not heaps, but just like one text could save the day tomorrow. If you don't do that one text, you wake up, all these texts like, I could have sent one message last night. Schedule 10 minutes, like I'll do this is this, kids watching TV, all right, 10 minutes, I could really touch what's going on. The day could be stressful, could be fun, could be whatever it may be, but leave it at 3:30, finishes there, you get home and you switch off.
Yeah.
So it's sort of it's a bit of a balancing act. Like don't switch off fully, but you can switch off. So it's taken years to sort of learn it and through trial and error.
You boys seem to do it pretty well, so that's the thing. And I've only got one, and I sometimes
has like up for you.
It's good. It's good. A little fair. We've got the same name kids as well.
Yeah, fair.
That's right. We're obviously walking in your footsteps.
Yeah. No.
It just happens. Like sort of you just mold into every day. So like I think. You can't take any work issue with you, because if you do that, then it's work, and your wife gets angry, and your kids don't see you. So it's like you got to have that balance.
Yeah, I think it's an important question, because there's a lot of blokes out there that are sort of they want to be really successful. They want to become a builder. They sort of want to progress in their career, but they also want to be good at home. And I think it's good to hear from people who are already doing it, that sort of understand what the pressures are like. And it's not easy. I think that's the main thing that you've got to get across is it's tough to to do it all, but you've got to find what works for you and play that balancing act.
I think if you can manage expectations as well, so your partner's expectation on you or your worker's expectation on you to be able to deliver stuff, that's the easiest one. Otherwise people might assume that they might have seen you before kids and go, well, he's going to be up till like 7, 8 o'clock at night doing all this stuff. I'll just leave it in with that. I'll just lump it on him. And all of a sudden they're like,
he's always at the office. He'll do this.
That's not realistic anymore.
We're
trying to be a family first company, which means giving everyone the benefit of the doubt and letting people make decisions for the company and themselves to benefit them family. But also, if our company is the same morals as a family as well, they would be putting their neck out on the line for a company too. Which means everyone is supporting everyone else. And that's the best way to run a company. If you can get there, it's taken us years and finding the right personnel.
Yeah, definitely. I want to go back to where it all started, back in that sort of 08, 09, when you boys were obviously just starting out. What made you decide to get into carpentry? Did one of you do it first, or sort of who followed?
We were sort of similar time. I started 1 year earlier than Cam, so same time basically. I finished my apprenticeship earlier, obviously, and then he was still with his bosses, and I thought we had a night out on the beers, and he says, why don't we try and work together one day? Like, you've got qualifying soon. I'm a year out. I was with a mate before that, it didn't work out very well. So I was sort of freeing up. Cameron's finishing his time and said, let's tee up and see where we go. And turned out all right, here we are.
That's it, all these years later.
It's sort of just a conversation. Just said, sort of just sparked up. I was like, well, no reason not to. Might as well give it a crack. And he was like, nah, family business, don't mix, good luck. And we're like, got to try though. So you don't know until you don't try.
Yeah, I guess that there is that rule that, you know, you never work with family, you never, you know, borrow money from mates, all that sort of stuff. But, you know, I think you guys are probably accepting the rule that, you know, you've sort of made it work and, you know, you've built that foundation, and then that's sort of what's allowed you to sort of be successful over the years. And I think probably the thing that I know after working with you boys for a little while is that you're the most honest, genuine, you know, just good blokes that you could possibly ask for.
Thanks, mate.
And that's no word of a lie. That's 100% who you boys are through and through. And I think that's why you don't have those kinds of dramas.
I think that's how it works. We're transparent, honest. We both want the same thing. Like both got families, both got goals, both want nice houses, this, that, and how do you get there? You work together and you get together. So I think it's sort of how we get each other on.
Exactly.
Open communication.
Yeah, definitely.
That's the best one. I think like every single time you see a company and they've started as friends or family and they're failing or they've decided to part ways halfway through, even if they were doing really good, it's just because they weren't talking to each other or not being open. We're pretty good. I don't know, we were already sort of mates before we started, where we would like that kind of relationship where you could just talk openly.
Yeah.
So nothing really changed other than you bringing more people in probably a year and a half before we had an apprentice.
Yeah, right. So you sort of got used to each other already.
The only arguments we ever had was design. Like, I think this looks better. I think this looks better. That's about it.
Yeah.
And then you bring someone else in, and then instead you can, any frustration, you just push on them.
It's at the age of
Well, that's where it gets tricky in carpentry. There's a million ways to get there, but the end result's the same.
Yeah.
And getting there, you can crisscross, you can overlap, whatever, but it's the same result.
Yeah, 100%. If you give your younger tradie self some advice, what would it be?
Or Milwaukee. Good tools, like good tools, sharp blades.
Yeah.
Sharp, just keep your tools updated because it's easy. It's working with a blunt tool is so much harder than working with a good tool.
Yeah.
It's common sense.
Yeah.
I think the best thing for an apprentice to do is make sure that they are always available. Like, if you're not going to be able to do anything, you're a first year apprentice and you're learning how to hone skills, or you're just learning what materials mean, what names are certain things called.
Yeah,
if you're just like, if you're
yeah.
constantly switched on and listening the whole time,
yeah.
you're going to pick up stuff they wouldn't even expect you to pick up as well. Because right now, in the position that we're in our company, if I took on a first year apprentice and they weren't being attentive or they weren't paying attention, I would consider them a safety risk.
Yeah.
For my other boys who are really attentive and pay attention to each other and what each other are doing. Site safety is like massive nowadays, especially for us.
Is that how people get hurt though? Honestly,
just not paying attention.
Or not listening, not paying attention.
Not paying attention, not listening.
Yeah.
A lot of the time we do something called 10s and 2s where I'll talk to the boys and so Sabby, and then we ask them what they're doing for, you know, the next 4 hours, what the end of the day is going to look like and all that. If they were paying attention then, they'd already know, okay, we're about to finish this task, we're going to move on to the next. You might be looking at the area that you're about to move into to start working and going to go, cool, or I'm going to clean up this rubbish here. I'm going to make sure that we're set up with a couple tools here. Is the site barrier safety good? No, but they should have been looking at that already. It's hard for a first year apprentice to do all that kind of stuff, though, but that sort of goes to everyone across the board.
I think the best thing I look at apprentices is when they're there before us, they're punctual. That is massive.
Punctuality is a big one.
It's huge, yeah. It just shows they're keen, shows they want to be there. If they're late, sleep in, or they rock up with like a V can and they're 10 minutes late, it's like, okay.
10 minutes late because I picked up the V can.
Yeah, that's right. I heard a really good thing recently. There's a labour hire company up in Brisbane and he does a lot of good videos. I think his name's Corey, I'm pretty sure. And he was saying, it's called Ideal Australia, is what the building company is. And he said that, yeah, for apprentices, he goes, if you can be punctual, if you can be on site, you know, standing at the gate with your tools, you know, like ready to go, that 5 to 10 minutes early, he goes, you'll go far in you know, within the trade. And like those are the people that really get ahead and looked at with a different set of eyes. You know?
Yeah, that probably is the hardest thing to teach, is just showing someone what it means to be punctual.
Yeah.
If you can have that in your skill asset at the start, that'd be massive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it just snowballs into other
Yeah, and
things.
it sets the standard as well. Like, he's there, this new guy here is here 10 to 7 every morning. And if you get other guys, you're like 5 minutes late, this and that, and it's like, well, if we're getting downsized, who's going to be first to go? Is the guy who's always there on time or the guy who's always late?
Yeah. This is a good way to put
It's
it.
very simple.
Yeah. What about oh, this is a good one. Have you boys ever had a job that went like totally sideways, and like what was the end result?
We've had a few. I wouldn't say sideways. I did a job. I quoted it.
I know which one you're talking about.
It was a kilometre of skirting. And I quoted it, did it, won it, signed
Kilometre?
it. A kilometre.
Yeah.
It was in a city building.
Okay.
And I forgot labour on the quote. So we sort of thought, all right, we won the job. There's not $1 of labour on this. What are we going to do? So we got more work in the job, and we sort of had variations there, and nothing dodgy, but it's like that got us more work through the company, and we're still working with them today.
Okay. So that one little sacrifice that you made.
Yeah,
at the
I
start.
could have said, no, can't do it. I'm just no money in it. But I said, no, let's stick it out. We'll do more work, and we're still getting heaps of work for them. And word of mouth spread to 2 different builders from that guy.
Yeah, so it was meant to be.
Meant to be, yeah. But that sinking feeling of like, I said to Cam, I think I've stuffed up here.
Yeah.
I reckon the only mistakes that we've made have been quotes.
Yeah.
But they're just learning curves.
What do you think the biggest mistake is people make with quotes? Because I get questions every day, and I try and help our members with their quoting systems, and try to help them make money with what they're doing. But what do you think the biggest?
The first mistake everyone always makes is not thinking about the bits in between every trade involved. I'm talking from a builder though.
Yep.
For a carpenter, if you're just quoting to get on site, do the exact job, but you haven't done a site visit yet or any of those things. Have you quoted for rubbish removal, material on site, potentially having to make stuff safe on site, material allocation? Have you got site access for deliveries? All of a sudden, there's your deliveries all just getting dumped out the front, and then you're all about to 8 people or 2 people, like worst case scenario, hand deliver all those materials up to the back of the property. Yeah, all those ins and outs. You've got to imagine what the job's going to be like from start to finish.
Yeah.
I like to write notes, like dot points of things that I think will be wrong before my site visit, and then you can just get rid of them on your site visit. You're like, yep, good access, gone.
Site access, if you go through a garage with a whole building of materials for an extension, or you get a crane truck over, you've saved yourself a day of material handling. So
things that people wouldn't think about until you start quoting and start doing these jobs.
Trial and error.
Yeah, because you would have worked for like a boss or an employer beforehand that has it all sorted for you.
Yeah.
You just rock up.
It's a juggling act between you don't want to be the most expensive either.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you just lost the whole job. And whatever it took you to get the lead acquisition, that's gone too now.
Yeah.
So cannot overcharge the client, but you've got to make sure that you've covered all your bases.
Yeah.
And then write it all down. And then make sure that if they're looking at your quote compared to someone else's and they go, why is your quote a tiny bit more? I've added this, and this as a variable cost. And then that can be taken off of.
Yeah, if it's not needed.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's good advice. That's good advice.
I guess just know your numbers as well. Like you got to know how much GST to put away, how much tax, how much holidays for yourself, your super. So if you're charging, call it 50 an hour, you're only getting probably 25 of that.
Yeah.
So you just got to know, if I get this, what's coming out of that to this job. If I work here for a whole day, I might get $100. Oh no, I'm short.
Yeah. I went through a bit of a breakdown yesterday of sort of like someone quoted up a deck that's going to take them 5 days to build, and they're very confident that I can get it built in 5 days, and they've quoted it for 5 days worth of work, so $2.5 grand or whatever it is in labour and materials. And then what happens if, this is what people don't necessarily do and this mistakes they make with their quotes, is what if that turns into a 10-day job, or it takes you, over 2 weeks to complete something because you run into problems, or there's something wrong with the materials, or whatever it might be. You're automatically behind on this job, and it might be one of the first things that they quote up as well. And it's almost like they're starting from behind on one of their sort of first jobs that they're putting forward. It was actually a member that had contacted me and said that he'd done this deck, and he thought it was going to be done in sort of 3 to 4 days, and then it took him like about 12 days of work to actually complete it and finish everything.
Yeah.
And he goes like, I don't know how to recover from this. Like, what do I do? And I said, well, look, it's a learning curve, and you would never sort of allow yourself that short amount of time. Like, if you think it's going to take 5 days, you'd probably quote it for 8. Like, is that something that you'd recommend?
I wouldn't always say that just adding on extra days is the best thing ever, because you always got to think of the client as well.
Yeah.
Like, you're trying to make a good, long-lasting contact who's also going to give you lead referrals after you did a really great job at the right price for them. Probably the best thing that you can do, and this is not the best money-making thing, is by having the trial and errors and trying to be as good as you can at writing notes about jobs. If you really can't take a hit and you're starting at a company on $0 in your account, I would probably look into only doing hourly wage works and learning through that way. You're not going to make any money on the first year, but use that whole year to get as much information as you can so you can start quoting, and then just do a couple trial and error quotes to see how you go. You could even in Carpentry Australia, you could ask him to compare quotes to see like where you sit. I know a lot of companies don't really like to do it. If you have like a good trusted network of friends who are in like-for-like companies, maybe non-competing, it'd be good to at least get them to have a look at your quote. I know we do.
Yeah, I think it is. I think people are more comfortable now sharing that sort of stuff. And like you're right.
You're all together.
Yeah.
Like if you think that you're competing against the person next to you, you're wrong. Yeah. Because you're going to meet them again in a couple of years.
We've lost heaps of jobs over the years. We just see it as an investment, not a loss. It's like, okay, this went wrong. Why'd I go wrong? And then pick it apart. It's like, we forgot this beam. We forgot this timber. We forgot this screw. They go back to Bunnings. Come back. I forgot this. Back to Bunnings. So it's like, there's one out here, one over here. We were 2 guys short. He was sick. I was like, okay, I can't be being sick. So it was 10 days, not 5, because of X, Y, Z, and that's why. So now you know for next job, that's how we can plan it better.
Yeah, 100%. I know you boys were looking at getting your DBU, or you're going through the process of the paperwork at the moment. You've got your DBL. You've got your DBL, or you didn't?
I never did the DBL. Okay. We sent him on Limitless wage to go do it.
You're in the process of the DBU?
Now we are. Yeah. We just brought one of our supervisors into the office for not a temporary role, but just like every Friday, someone taking off the load of our bookwork. So that means that we're going to jump on board to go back for the DBU.
Okay, perfect. And what do you think it'll open up? Like getting your DBU, obviously DBU, your domestic builder unlimited in here in Victoria. So like an open license in Queensland, a full license in New South Wales, it's the equivalent. What kind of doors would it open for you boys to have the DBU instead of just the DBL?
Just tendering for bigger jobs. We're a pretty big company now, so the kind of jobs that we need to go for, bigger scale. I think the ability to have more money to borrow against as well. So when we do our DBU license, we'll be able to have a lot more warranty insurance to use.
That's right, insurance side of it's big.
You don't really get much with the DBLC, which means that we can take on multiple jobs, and we can ask for a bigger pay bracket with that as well, which means that I'll ask to be approved for up to, probably $4 million insurance is all what we'll really get with a DBU. I know there's a lot of companies out there who need $6 million at our level to operate. That's just the cost of building at the moment. One of the builders that we're friends with at the moment, he's had to up his insurance to $12 million.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And that is just because some of the projects can take up to a year. And if he takes on 12 projects a year and they're all valued between 800 and 1.2, that's his whole insurance gone already.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's a balancing.
It sort of sets the standard of how much work you can take on. If you had 20 million work, but only 10 million insurance, you can't do 10 million work.
Well, look, talking about builders as well, what do you boys think separates like a good builder from a great one?
Organisation, I reckon. Details, communication, being a good culture with your workers, like see them as the same level as you guys, don't treat everybody with disrespect, just showing up. I think it's organisation, I reckon, is the main one. That way, if you're organised, everything just sets itself.
And constantly reviewing and critiquing your systems and yourself. You're only going to get organised through the same as what I said before, trial and error. So we do a lot more online organisation now, which means that people can have access wherever they are. They might be on site and they can look at jobs that are coming up through our calendar, our shared calendar. They can look at jobs that they're on through one of the apps that we're using, which is Fergus at the moment.
Fergus, yeah, that's good job management stuff.
Yeah, we're only a little bit into that. We're about 2 months into that now.
Yeah, month and a half. I think a month, 2 months. Yeah,
it's for larger companies, isn't it?
Like larger companies, but I know that a lot of service-based companies use them for small jobs as well.
Okay.
This isn't a plug for Fergus.
That's right. Yeah, we're not for each other.
But they're good. We're just trying to figure out how we can optimise our company using Fergus by being really open, so that even the lowest link in the chain can look up really important information straight away.
Yeah.
It's hard because there's so many out there, so many platforms, like which is the right one.
And have you tried any other ones in the past? Have you used like Crew Tracker?
Crew Tracker.
Yeah, Build Exact or any of those sort of
we did that one
services?
With all of them, that you're going to put the work into it to get the work out of it. So we did Crew Tracker. I think we found an easy way that suited us to manage the crew, and then we found Fergus, which is easy to run them like project management of the jobs. Yeah, we did Simpro. They weren't really for us.
They told us that they weren't for us as well.
Yeah. Like, we don't suit you guys.
That's fair enough.
Just again, trial and error. Like, see what suits your business, because they're all so different. You can have one guy with 50 guys and they all suit that, or this won't suit that. So you just got to...
Okay.
I mean, I reckon it's like pretty much integral if you're going to operate a bigger company. If you don't have some sort of system that's upkeeping where your conversations or your emails were with a client, and how the hell do you know where you left off, or how do you know if you left them in the lurch? So we have, like, the way that we do it is we have protocols for, you get a lead that comes in and we track that all the way up to a proper quote where we go in person, and then that tracks all the way to job where we can actually go, yeah, they've approved the job, here's a job location, here's a leader in charge, all that.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it as well. I guess the more organised. Actually, funny you boys say that. I was listening to a podcast this morning, and it was actually Arnold was on the Theo Von, Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? And he was talking about the 7 P's that, like, the Marines live by, which is poor preparation promotes piss poor performance.
Yes, I've heard that.
Right?
Yeah.
Which something that they live by, and like if you don't plan, then you really don't have a chance of being successful. Like, some people fluke it, and they do it with no plans and no sort of, I guess, vision. But if you don't have a plan, then you really can't execute the way that you can if you do. I thought that was really clever.
Yeah.
And that's how the Marines operate. If they're not planned, then they're obviously not going to, do
It's
well.
so simple. Yeah.
Do well in combat, That's
because everything that we're learning as well. We had a sit-down meeting the other day with their accountant. At the moment, he's just setting up what our next sort of 3 years looks like, 5 years, and 10 years in, like, the dream state of it all.
Yeah. See, 20 mil in the bank, beach house.
20 mil a week.
Yeah.
But everything comes down to basically writing down everything and structuring it. So you go, cool, here's what we're going to do, and it looks like a really big thing to achieve, but you can break it up into smaller parts. And he showed us, like, a picture of a staircase and everything, just little steps at a time. But that's right, like, little steps at a time. You want to do something, like, really great, you got to do a few things to get there. Consider all as one task. It's always going to seem like that.
Yeah, and all the little stuff, it really does add up as well.
And it's so simple. You can say, all right, I want this. Okay, why? Because this. How are you going to get that? Because that. And when? Now. So when you break it up in small pieces, it seems quite achievable rather than just one big goal.
What about some team culture? So you boys, how many fellas you got on the team now?
Six on site and 4 in the office.
How do you think you've built a crew that sort of sticks together and works well together, like cohesive?
We're just from our family culture. We always try and be together, support each other, best for everybody.
We also do everything that's not just being in a company. Like, your company does the same thing, but if you're just sending someone out on site every day and you expect everyone to be like, bloody full-on simpatico, it doesn't work that way.
No.
And you have, like, time in between where you go, okay, cool, let's review how last week went, how did you guys operate together, do you have any critiques? We do have toolboxes where people can critique how jobs went, so that means that we're under the fire as well.
Yeah.
They go, well, I didn't like it because of this and this, that sucked. Yeah, well, otherwise, if we're not going to get critiqued, we don't know where we can improve.
Yeah.
Giving them a voice is a big one. So letting them speak what they want to say, and we can learn from that as well.
Yeah.
I think the fact that you give them the room to do that as well is how you build, like, a stronger team.
Some of the best things that we get out of the critiques come from the apprentices, because they might have worked at Woolies or something just before. They're like, what the hell are you doing here like this? This doesn't make sense. Where they bring us in for, like, a team leading before, like, a big day or something, and you're like, oh yeah, that's a really good idea. I don't know why I didn't do that stuff. But the smallest person on your team will usually have the best ideas because they're the ones who are meant to be sitting, watching, and learning.
Yeah.
And they'll probably critique you the hardest because they don't understand why you did it.
It's also fresh eyes as well. You've sort of been doing things the same way, you've got the same kind of processes. When someone else sort of comes in and starts working with you, or they sort of start to have their own ideas, it can definitely help sort of change things. You go, I never actually thought about it that way. Like, it's actually quite clever. Maybe we'll implement that, we'll try it, and if you're open as a boss as well, it sort of can help everyone sort of work better together.
Yeah. We did a personal development day recently that didn't involve beers.
Okay,
And
that's
that
good.
was really good.
Just on the zeros.
It was
Coke zeros.
Monday morning. So
Okay, yeah.
so start the week on a high,
Yeah.
and it really was a high. It was the next 2 weeks were just like
Everyone was
related
flying.
back to it. They were like they loved it every minute of it. Like, I didn't know you said this. I didn't know you said that. And sort of like got everything out in the open. Everyone could speak, and it's like, oh, it was so refreshing. It's like just get it out there. So it's like not he said, or they're coming to camp saying this and me saying this. It's like talk to that person. Listen to group scenario. We're all easy.
Yeah.
And it worked really well in our favour and their favour too.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome, and that's what other crews out there should do as well. They should really sort of take the time to.
Well, it's hard because we come from a construction background where the only PD session that you can really fit in are beers, and it's when you finish a job early, you go to the pub or whatever, and you can like air out your grievances there. If you can make time to do something that doesn't involve something like that, there's always a place for beers.
Yeah.
There's also a place to like grow,
Yeah.
and that's what we were trying to concentrate on. That was the best thing what we did.
How long ago did you do it?
2 weeks ago. It was it the start of June? June 1? I think.
Yeah.
And then when do you think you'll do it again?
I'd like to do it once a month, maybe once a quarter.
Okay. Yeah. So a few times a year.
Yeah, good touch base.
'Cause it does.
But next time, we'll probably make people make notes to bring next time as well.
Yeah.
That was one thing that we're missing. We ran the whole thing, but it was only because it was the first time we did it. We didn't even know what we were doing.
Just workshopping it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Next time, if we do it, and everyone can come preloaded with some stuff to bring as well, it will be better the next time too.
What do you think keeps both you boys motivated after all these years?
I reckon the big one is client satisfaction. Like seeing the result of their faces once they've chosen us to do this task, and we've all got our piece in the puzzle. And when you see the final result and their reaction, it's like, I did that. So it's quite rewarding. It's customer satisfaction, and just we all did this as a team together to create that goal for them.
Yeah, I think that's why most people get into stuff like this. You want to be a carpenter. The first dopamine hit you get is when you finish a project and someone goes, "Good job."
And then you can portray it and show it out there, Instagram, Facebook, and all that, and people say, "Oh, those guys do some pretty cool stuff." And then clients say, "They do some cool stuff. I want that at my house. That looks awesome." So then you get sort of that sort of like vision of like these guys to give great quality products, and I want that in my house. So it sort of sets the tone. Like, every day is different. You drive around Victoria and you find different cafes, different lunch places to eat lunch.
It is cool that you get that side. You get to sort of, and there's so many other tradies doing it too. It's sort of all, you get to sort of filter around the whole state. And
Yep.
Like I couldn't sit in office all day. I do it now, but no, we still get out. We get out.
We have to get out sometimes.
Yeah.
All right. What about one myth that you hear about tradies or carpenters that you'd love to bust?
A myth.
Any myths out there, that you hear and you're like, well, that's just not true. That's just not how things work.
Chippy's nail them best.
That's fantastic. Yeah, that's definitely a myth.
You know what? One of the biggest myths is that tradies are always out to rip you off.
Yeah.
I think that the only people who are ever saying that are the ones who were trying to go for the cheaper trade.
Yeah.
And then they go, well, this has cost me an arm and a leg now, and they're doing reworks. I always felt like even now, the first thing I have to do is you build trust with your client. They're not going to, no one wants to spend $5,000, let alone $400,000 on someone they haven't met. You got to make some sort of trust between each other, and that goes both ways. I don't want to work with a client that I don't trust either.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but I think the biggest myth is that tradies are there to rip you off. If you got ripped off, I guarantee they either were ripped off or they just didn't know what they were quoting for. They walked away with a bigger portion than they thought they should have.
Yeah.
And it is hard. You sort of got to, we offer references for if we do a quote, we say, do you want references? Do you want past projects? We got 3 clients in call today and go to their house and see their job we've done for them. So I think you just got to back yourself in. And from a client perspective, why am I choosing this guy? Why is he good? So when you say your price, it's like, well, here's my reasons why, and I've got my trust. You can trust me.
That's a good answer. I wanted to ask both of you, fantastic gentlemen, sort of what's changed. You've been a member with Carpentry Australia for 6 years, 7 years.
Yeah, quite some time now.
I'd love to know what's changed since you started with us, and what have you enjoyed the most with working with us?
Much more interaction. That can be get with you guys. If we have any sort of marketing things we need question help with, or just help in general. If we got that question, we can say, Nate, Matt, what do you think of this? And you're like, this is this, or you can point us to someone else. Like through our coaching was through you guys, our license was through you guys, the DVE I think is through you guys as well. So sort of like you're that big interconnecting block. They're like, we're in our business, how can we be better? Hey, you guys, what do you guys think? Oh no, we know these guys. So you sort of excel what we don't know.